Here's my update video for the week. I am going to be doing the dialogue from Integrated Korean, which I have memorized. It's a conversation between Michael, Michael, and Jenny. I don't know why they make all the characters in this book foreigners, but they do. Um, when Jenny is talking, I'm gonna have the pen here, and when Michael is talking, I'm gonna have the pen here. 마이클 씨, 오늘 수업 있으세요? 네, 한국어 수업이 있어요. 제니 씨는요? 오늘은 수업이 없어요. 그런데 내일은 경제학 수업이 있어요. 한국어, 한국어 수업은 재미있어요. 아주 재미있어요. 그리고 선생님도 좋으세요. 그래서 매일 열심히 한국어를 공부해요. 한국어 교실 어디 있어요? 로이살 삼신 로이살 삼총에 있어요. Okay. So I feel okay about this. Like I honestly don't I honestly don't know how good my pronunciation is. I just try to emulate what I hear. I think one thing I've noticed that I notice myself making the mistake as I say it and I can't fix it for some reason is the verbs that end in hey, heyo and stuff like hey, 공 공부해요. I said 공부해요. I just said 부해요. It's 부해요. 공부해요. And I don't know why I do that. It's not like I'm French and can't pronounce an H sound, but it's kind of like a larger theme in Korean for me where and I think I mentioned this before in Japanese everything is very pronounced clear cut and same thing with Chinese honestly, although I would say Japanese even more so. And Korean is a very mumbling language to me. Like and maybe it's just my unfamiliarity with it at this point, but it feels like normal to not make certain sounds and I don't like I've heard a lot of Korean, but I don't understand it usually when I'm hearing it. So I can't I'm sure I've heard like a million times a hey yo ending in a verb and not noticed it. Um but like or maybe I've just heard ayo and they actually don't make the H sound every time. I don't know. So basically I'm saying I don't know if I can drop the H, but I know in this book, the audio that I have for it, he says 한국어를 공부해요. He does not say 공부해요, which I did when I read this out. Um, anything else I'm thinking about? The vowel, which is written like I don't have any paper on. I have no paper on my desk. The vowel like the circle with that's useless. The vowel like in 한국어, that vowel at the end, the vowel that's in 없어요, or even 있어요, that 있어요, that vowel, I don't know, it feels like it's not always pronounced the same. And when I see a verb like 없어요, I never really am sure how to pronounce it. Like I hear it and I can copy it, but something in my brain wants to keep. It's always like it kind of wanders away from what it should be. So those are things I'm kind of watching for as I continue to work on my pronunciation. Um, beyond pronunciation, I'm not really having too many issues. So far, everything is honestly quite basic. Um, yeah, I'm just not finding anything like I'm not finding anything particularly difficult. Like I think for example, like 있어요, 없어요. That maybe it's gonna I think that will get more difficult as I encounter situations where I'm unsure if I should use 이에요 or 없어요 or I'm sorry, 이에요 or 있어요. I don't know, like right now it's very clear cut, like like 저는 미국 사람 저는 미국 사람이에요. I know to say 이에요 because it's I am like if I am something like 저는 um 저는 학생이 저는 학생이에요. 저는 학생이 학생 저는 학생이 whatever. So like for that I know to use 이에요. But then if I'm like in a place I know to use 있어요. 저는 미국에 있어요. And that's very clear cut and not confusing, but I'm sure like I'm sure there's going to be things in this language where you're like, oh, which verb should I use, and I use the wrong one, and I like, oh well, that's weird that you use 있어요 there. But I haven't come across those confusing situations as of yet. um I have moved on to the next chapter. I haven't really been practicing it that much yet. I'm still really trying to figure out a good routine for myself. I'm not somebody who does well with really rigid and unflexible routines. Like if I tell myself I have to, I must like after my kid goes to bed, I must immediately do an hour of Korean. That doesn't work good for me. Generally speaking, what I do is um my kid likes to really go to the bookstore and he reads when he's there. And I'll take him to the bookstore and I bring my stuff with me and I get my Korean book out, and that's a main time that I study. But we don't go to the bookstore every day. Um, so I generally just kind of like when I have time, I do it kind of thing, and I try to do it mostly every day, but I don't. And that's kind of the problem, right? Like I really want to be in this thing every day and getting through it. I'm already this far in. And with that said, like the book doesn't really start until like here because it does hangul and a bunch of random stuff that isn't part of the meat of the book. But I'm really feeling like I'm making progress. Um, I've learned languages enough and long enough that it doesn't feel like it feels achievable, and I feel I'm really enjoying it. Um, and I think there's going to be a moment, like I don't know when it's going to happen, right? But probably after after this book eventually gives us some actual verbs. I think the only verb that it's put in a dialogue reason other than like to be was like the verb to see, but they used it on to take a test, which was like um 한국어 한국어를 시험을 한국어를 시험을 봐요. That was the only verb that it's introduced, like it's like a verb of actually doing something rather than existing. And but like basically I think once this book gives me that like fundamental that foundation of like how to use some verbs naturally, um and also when I can kind of like I don't really know how to explain it, but at the point I'm at right now, I find it difficult to build sentences, and building sentences is kind of the core of how I learn a language using a textbook. And what I mean by it's hard to build sentences is like I can say you know, 도서관 어디 있어요? And then I can answer and be like, 학교 앞에 있어요. 학교 뒤에 있어요. But I don't have like it's I guess it could just be a volume of words issue where I just don't have enough vocabulary yet to really make variations in these sentences. Like 저는 미국 사람이에요. 저는 저는 선생님이에요. 저는 저는 대 대학생이에요. But I don't have enough like for things I could say 저는 about. I don't have that many. Am I a post office? like I as the nouns there's not a lot of nouns I have that I could be. Um and I haven't learned like yeah, I don't know. Basically it feels I feel a bit limited in what I can do as far as building sentences. But I think there's gonna be a point relatively soon. Like the chapter I'm on now has like the words for family members, and that alone will give me a lot of like 저는 I guess would you ever say I'm an older brother? So I guess you could, but you know stuff like that, just some extra words to use and talk about in a reasonable way. So and I've been watching. So I basically gave up on comprehensible input for Korean, and I don't I because I was trying to watch shows without subtitles and it just wasn't. I don't feel it was working, and not only was it not working, but it was making me not want to watch stuff. Because I was just it was just kind of like a chore to do it. When I'm leaning at, but I've been watching about an hour or two of Korean TV shows per day, so I've been doing a good job. Like I do have the subtitles on, and I watch with German subtitles, because it's just one way to keep my German up, but like also it I avoid using my native language. I don't know how that like how it's better to explain that, but I feel like it's a thing that helps somehow to not like to keep it distanced from native language as much as possible. Um so I think like with this book, my what I'm trying to do is basically like get to the point where I can watch a show without the subtitles and understand like half of what's happening. I think that's a something I can get going. I'm not in a race. I'm not rushing this, but it's something that I think can happen. It won't take forever. Let's just say that. Um for Chinese, I I need to find something else to watch. Like I've been watching a show that I didn't really like that much, and I just never end up watching it. I keep saying I'm going to watch it again and I just never do. I'm gonna give it another chance. Maybe I just need to like sit down and finish it the next time I watch something. Just binge watch it or whatever. The book I'm reading, I'm not really enjoying either, and it's a book that I loved when I read it in English, but I just like it's not clicking for me. I don't really know what to do with reading. Maybe I just need to pick something easier and try to read it or something. I'm really not sure. The book I'm reading is nonfiction, and I think it would help to read. Maybe I should read fiction that's not super literary and using a bunch of classical Chinese. So, um, the other thing I did is I actually joined italki, and I met with a Chinese tutor for like 45 minutes. And I told her, we spoke Chinese the whole time. And I just told her, look, like all I want to do is improve my pronunciation and make it more natural, and sound, just try to get rid of my accent is kind of what I told her. And she said like, first of all, she told me, okay, like, yeah, that's a really, you're setting a high goal for yourself. And she told me like, like when you talk to me, I can tell that you're a non-native speaker, but it's not like I have any difficulty understanding you, and you speak, you speak really well, and blah blah blah. And she wasn't like, I don't think she was just doing the like, oh wow, your Chinese is so good. It was more just like, look, I get what you're saying, but like she was kind of like, I think she was a little bit confused, like why do you care about your pronunciation that much, basically. Um, but she gave me like a paragraph, and I read through it a bunch, and I think once I started I think once I started doing that, she realized like, oh, okay, I see what he wants to work on. Because like there was a lot of instances where my tones just fell apart. Like not all of it. It'd be like a certain word. So I have this. I can put this on the screen, can't I? Let me try something here. No, it's not. Yeah, I can. I don't want to though. I just want it to be on the screen in front without like showing my whole desktop, because I don't know what's on my desktop right now. I wasn't planning to show my desktop, but let me see. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. I feel comfortable that I can show my desktop now. Um, so we can get this out of here. So this was the paragraph we worked on. And like as an example, where was the one that I started messing up on initially? This one. So this is a first tone. This is a flat tone. Kai. Oh, hold on. I have pinyin somewhere for this. Let me get you the pinyin so you don't have to remember what I said. And the teacher put the pinyin on there for me because I don't have I know most of these characters, but there's some that I don't know. And it makes it's a pain in the ass if you have to. You cannot read pinyin. You cannot just. I don't know anyone that can just read this. Like I could never read the pinyin alone and have any idea what I'm saying. But you can. This is the part here is this one. I kai ando che. So this is what when I was reading this, I didn't do it right. So I was like, 开饭的车, so the reason this is so hard is because, and I actually made a whole video about this. Why is Chinese pronunciation so hard? This is it, at least for me. So this means to drive. This is like, um, honestly, I can't remember. This is like a bulldozer or a crane, I think. Let me check this. I'll Google image search it. That was part of the difficulty too, is that I didn't even know what some of these things were. Um, Ando, Ando, Andocha, Andocha. My internet's so slow. It's a dump truck. Oh yeah, dump truck. So Kai is first tone. Ando. This is another first tone. So we have drive, dump truck. This is the descriptor. Like this just means like a car. So fando che is a type of car. Kai fando che. And so when I was reading this the first time, like first of all, she told me kai kai. I wasn't making the so it was a little bit off. I don't remember exactly what I was off on, but my first tone isn't hitting because the reason it's hard is because like you have a first tone followed by a first tone, but it's not even in the same word. It's like kai ando che. And so those kinds of like, where do you put a natural pause is what's so difficult. And she really helped me a lot with this. Like, so she's like, it's 开翻斗车，开翻斗车，开翻斗车，开翻斗车. And so there was a few other ones like she gave me a few other examples, which was um 听三首歌. Why did the ting get so tiny? What? Why is it doing that? Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, we've got a half size ting there for some. So this is ting san shou ge shou ge, which is you can see the same. This is the same tones as kai kai fan dou che ting san shou ge. 我 this means listen to 3 songs. 我听3首歌. 我听3首歌. So there's that little bit of a pause there. And that's really the kind of thing that I wanted to, that's exactly what I want to practice. And it's really cool to just get somebody and help get somebody you just tell like, this is what I want to do. And she just helps you with it. Um, so I've set up to meet with her once a week and I'm going to treat this just like I treated this, and I'm going to practice it a bunch until I can say it like really, really fluently without like getting all confused and screwing up a tone. And I'm going to record myself and try to really just use this as a blueprint. And it doesn't matter what the paragraph is that much, right? Like it's just like whatever, but it's a thing to practice. So I'm going to do that. And I'll probably record. I'll like next update video. I will record this as well. I'll say this out with the Korean or something. So thank you for watching. Bye.